Okay, this is a message for COMM 101 and Fundamentals of Public Speaking. This week we had the big persuasion speech. When you give a persuasion speech, you're trying to move opinion when you do that. A good part of your audience is already on your side. You don't have to worry about them. There are some people that can never be convinced, although you're always trying to move some of them to your side. And then there are the people in the middle who haven't got a firm belief one way or the other. Those are the people you're really working on. When you make a point in a persuasive speech, you have to, in some cases, use emotion. But you pull out all stops and do whatever you have to do to make your point. A couple of key things that you need to know about. It's an absolute requirement. There are no ifs, ands, or buts, no excuses. You must have an audience for your speech. If you were taking the class face-to-face, you would have an audience. It's one of the big things people don't like about speaking is they have to have an audience. It makes them very nervous. And I'm sorry, it is just not allowable for you not to have an audience. I know there are all kinds of reasons why it didn't happen, but it is penalized in a speech when there is no audience there. The other thing is that you've got to make sure that you've covered all of the ground in your speech. For instance, did you quote sources? Did you do your outline in the right way? Do you attribute what you want to do to the sources? So let's get started here. First of all, let's talk to bears. Bears, you had a good topic. That's obvious. You're reading your speech too much, though. The camera, I think, is too far away because it was, even at full volume, difficult to hear you. I could hear you, but it was really a push. Stand still. You don't need movement when you're speaking. When you do that, you can make people kind of seasick. So learn to stand still. Anchor yourself. It's a very distracting and a very aggravating habit when you do that. It's hard to separate your thoughts from each other when you go right into the next thing without stopping and do the things like this without, and it's not a matter of being fast, it's a matter of, remember, pitch, pace, voice, pitch, pace, volume, silence, and tone. Pitch, pace, tone, volume, and silence. All of them. Silence is one. That's how you separate one thought from another, so be sure to use it. You weren't conversational. You were speechy. You were speechifying to me, and somewhat in a monotone way. Now, I don't mean that monotone in that, well, you just spoke like this and you never changed anything like that and it was all one tone. I mean, it was just not, you didn't use the full range of your voice, and you've got to incorporate some of that. You had no required visual aid that I could see, and your sources were not clearly cited. You got to slow down when you do your speech, and you did far, far too much reading. All right, next up is cubbies. Excellent topic. Watch blowing your hair. I don't know if you were frustrated or what, but you get to a point and there's a pause and you do like that. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but take a look at the tape and you'll see what I'm talking about. Remember, especially with you, and I've talked to you about this before, underline key words with your voice. Sometimes in a speech it's proper to use a word twice if people can't quite understand what you're doing. You talked about something like REM sleep. Well, when you say REM sleep, if people aren't really with you and they didn't quite catch what you said, or they're not familiar with what REM sleep is, you may want to define it a little bit more and help them. Relax. Relax, cubbies. Talk to me. Share what you know, but don't lecture me. You had a lot of facts there, and if I was a kid and you were just hitting me with all that stuff, you would have had me turned off a long, long time ago. Talk to me. Tell me why those facts are important. You have a somewhat overwhelming problem, but don't make it so fact-intensive that, okay, you had me when you talked about how many people die. You had me when this. You had me when that. Okay, I'm tired. You just told me too much. And especially when you're talking to young people about the topic, you want to make sure that you don't over-lecture them. They hear it all the time. You talked about tons of drinking problems and tons of drinking boredom. Explain. I'm not sure I understand that one. And then you said a variation of there's 6 or more beers followed by 6 or more shots. You didn't support that assertion in any way that I could see. You also got a little tongue twisted, and you said the car was struck by a tree. Boy, I want to see that tree run after that car and hit it. You probably, as we all know, meant to say the car struck a tree. But you've got to be very, very specific on what you do. Don't hold the paper up like this and put it back down. I can't see it. Hold the paper up longer and show it to me. A lot of you don't understand that you can hold something right here. I don't have to see your face when you're holding something up. Hold it up. You don't have to hold it way out here someplace and then zoom so far back that I can't see you. Hold it here. You can be behind it. You hold it right in front of your face if you want to, and we'll deal with it that way. What else have I written down here? Without alcohol, parents could just relax and not be worried about their kids. Okay, without alcohol, they wouldn't worry about their kids? What about their kids and sex? What about their kids and driving recklessly or fast? I don't think without alcohol, as a parent, I'd not be worried about my kids. Alcohol is one more of the things I would worry about them doing, but you can't dismiss it that if alcohol wasn't in the picture, that people wouldn't worry. All right, let's take a look next at Scarlett. All right, Scarlett, a good topic. Testimony is very good. Let me say something. I'm going off of Scarlett for a second to everybody. Remember that part about establish your expertise. What are your credentials? Be sure to do that in all of your speeches. Why are you talking about it? Okay, back to Scarlett. You can't really see the visuals that you used, and also cite the sources in your speech. You had a ton of vocalized pauses where you say, you can't do that. They'll just lose your audience in no time. There was no flow. There was just a collection of facts. Fact, 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 fact. Okay, fine. You got me. You gave me a lot of facts. Talk to me. Converse with me. Tell me why those facts should mean something. Don't say that this is a method, but I haven't used it, so I don't know. Why are you even talking about it? You don't know anything about it, and you're saying it's a method. You can say one of the methods that people use is, you don't have to comment on whether it's good or bad or whether you've used it or not, but don't say something like, and this is a method, I don't know anything about it, I never used it, but it's something. That just kills your point. If it's effective, it will be effective to some people, maybe not to others. You can just say that. Never but never, this is for Scarlett and everybody else, don't walk to the camera, away from the camera while you're talking. Finish your speech, then go and turn off the camera. Don't be moving while you're still talking. And turn on the camera, get in your position, and then start. Watch the, when you're talking, you've got sniffles. It's really hard sometimes in the wintertime with students. Watch that your articulation is kind of loose. Smellin', S-M-E-L-L-I-N. Did you mean smelling? And for two, I'm going to the store. I'm going to the store. Do you mean I'm going to the store? You got to be really distinct. I mean, folks, we're in the last throes of what we're going to be doing in this class, so you got to be good at this and get even better. I'm going to stop here, and we'll come back and do the rest of them after this.